Hello, 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 my lovelies, and welcome. Welcome to Self Love Friday, where we are looking at the series Who Am I? Reality versus Illusion. And today is part two, Mind. So, welcome. Thank you very much for being here. Do let me know if you're joining me, where you're joining me from. Pop something in the chat. I love seeing where you come from and where you're at. And start letting me know about what your thoughts are about the topic for today, about mind and how much of your thinking is truly yours, your own personal reality, and how much of it is part of the illusion of this world that we live in. So the purpose of the series, let's get to the purpose of the series. I love the title. I think it sounds so nice and dramatic. Reality versus illusion. So who am I? The purpose of the series is to encourage you to get in touch with your true essence, with that part of you that I call sacred self. Some people call it soul. Some people call it higher self or personal truth even. People who are more scientific, more logical, less spiritual, but whatever you call it, it's about connecting with the essence of who you are, beyond your body, beyond your mind, beyond your emotions. There is something more than all of that that drives each and every one of us every day. And this series is about who that person is. Who is that? Who is at the core of me and who is at the core of you? So it's about this. This is my stance and about trying to get all of us to connect with that, and to connect with that part of us so that we can sift through the messaging that's coming to us. There's so much messaging coming at us from every single angle, every day, and on every level about what we should and could and how things should is the biggest one. It's like how you should be feeling, what you should be thinking, what you should look like, and what you should do about all of those things, what success looks like, and how to achieve it. There's all this how to and what you should be doing. And so this is all about liberation. This is about getting free, free in your body, free in your mind, and free in your heart to be your true self, your real self. Hello, JJ UK. Yay that you're here. I love it when you're on the show. Thank you, thank you. And your name says it all. You're in the UK, like as I am. And it's turned from a sunny morning to a really, really grey day. But that is the bipolar weather that we have in the UK. It's wonderful. Keeps us on our toes. So I launched the series last week talking about body and getting to grips with really getting in touch with our physical body and who our physical body is in reality. And we did that exercise, for those of you who did it with me, that involved really, really connecting, mindfully connecting and body scanning during the week. And I would love to know from anyone who did it, let me know how it went. You can share it in the comments here, even afterwards, pop me an email. Let me know how it went for you and how you experience that daily body scan, checking in, writing about it, thanking your body. I must say, I found myself, I do this anyway, so it's a part of my daily practice, is connecting with my body, with my physical self. It's been a big part of my journey with my body. But this past week, because I put the challenge out to all of you and I said I was going to do it with you, I just gave it renewed energy, renewed focus, additional focus. And what I found was by just renewing that connection, I was really listening more attentively to the truth that was coming out of my physical state of being. And sometimes that can be a little bit challenging or scary even. And we'll talk about that more in this chat today because it involves mindset. So there were 2 days in this past week, and one of them was yesterday, so it's still fresh in my mind, where my physical being didn't have the energy required to do the physical output that I have scheduled every single day. And so what I found myself doing, because on the one hand, I'm committed to that. So I'm committed to that physical output for all sorts of reasons, mental health, physical health, strength, all of that. But because I was in such close commune with my body in the week, I noticed and I adjusted. So I actually connected with that lowered energy level. I raised some energy for myself because that is very possible. That's something that maybe we can cover in another one. But a person who talks about that a lot is Tony Robbins, about creating energy. So I did what I could and built energy up in me. And then I did enough output that worked for my commitment to myself, as well as honored the state that my body was actually in, even after generating the energy within myself. And that was quite amazing. It was such a fine adjustment, but it was just hearing from my body that extra bit yesterday morning, which was amazing. And as I said, it did actually happen twice this week. Yesterday, I felt like I really got it right because I managed to generate the energy and then only output according to where I was really at in my body. And to come to terms with making sure that my commitment to my daily output, my daily exercise routine, that commitment is rooted in self-love, sacred self-love, and not just in this is what health looks like, this is what um, vitality looks like at my age, this is what sexy looks like. So I really, really connected with that on a deeper level than normal. So I love this challenge. In addition, I really enjoyed the gratitude, thanking my body. And as I say, I did it, but just I do it often, but doing it with having put the challenge out there to everyone out there made me more aware. And so it kind of refreshed my gratitude for my body. And that was so much fun. And then in addition to that, as fate would have it, life there's so much synchronicity in life. It's amazing. I signed up a few weeks ago for a workshop with a Tantra teacher. She teaches body love and sexuality, healthy sexuality, from a basis of Tantra. Her name is Layla Martin. If you're interested, she does amazing stuff. And she's on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and everywhere. And so that started this week as well. So Tuesday night and Thursday night, I had the most amazing experiences with my body. And I just thought how amazing that that happened in the week, that I put this challenge forward to everyone to connect with your bodies. So I loved that. And then I just wanted to say, because for me, and like I said, I do this is my life. So a lot came up. I actually managed to release some stuff from my body, which was incredible, and my mind, which I'll get to shortly. But if anything came up for you that you want to discuss, bounce ideas around, or that you find particularly challenging, then get in touch with me. You can get in touch with me here, wherever you're watching, or on email, because that's what I'm here for. When we connect with our sacred self and we practice sacred self-love, and stuff comes up, it's an opportunity to clear out old stuff. It's an opportunity to step into the next level of who we are and who we're here to be. So definitely, if stuff came up with you, please reach out for me and we can connect. JJ, love Layla. She has helped me so much in my appreciation of my own sexuality. Absolutely. JJ, what a gift she is to the world. She's amazing. So yes, thank you, Layla, for everything that you do for so many of us. So yes, amazing stuff. Um, Jumping into the theme of this week. So part 2 of the series, Who Am I? Reality versus Illusion. Part 2, mind. How well do you really know your own mind? I'm going to start with a question. How many thoughts do you think you have each day? There's a question for you. And while you think about it, I'll have a sip of water. So when this question came up, I was like, a lot, because my mind is really busy. And the latest research actually shows that on average, the average adult human being has about 6,200 thoughts per day. So, hello, Deborah. Wonderful. Deborah's in Johannesburg. So good to see you here, Deborah. Yay, it's been a while. It's been a while. Welcome. So 6,200 thoughts a day. That is a lot. I think I was right in my first estimation that it was a lot because 6,200 a day is a lot. And that brings us to about 387 thoughts every minute. Now, if you think of a minute and how quickly it passes, an hour, sorry, 387 thoughts per hour, that's doing a lot with your 60 minutes. It's like 6.5 thoughts a minute. So that's a lot. That's busy. And now I want to ask you, have you ever wondered how many of these thoughts, so these 6,200 thoughts per day, which I'm sure mine are closer to 9,000 because I feel like my mind never stops. Yes, JJ UK, a lot. So have you ever stopped to think about how many of these thoughts are truly yours, or how many of them are pre-programmed or conditioned by external factors? So by the family you were raised in, by religious ideas, by media, stuff that you hear around you, that you've been hearing around you for 30, 40 years of life. Have you ever thought about that? It's quite a sobering thought for me because, as I said in the beginning of this, there is such a bombardment of information coming at us all the time. And especially in this day and age, the how-to stuff. So how to do this better, how to be that. You should be this. This is what success looks like. This is what wealth looks like. This is what happiness looks like. So if you actually have to stop and think about all those thoughts that run through your mind every day, and ask yourself how many are truly mine, from my true essence, from the sacred self part of me, the part that is the deepest part, the part that's driving the rest of me. Some of just ways to start thinking about this is to think about the route that you take to the shops. That's the only place we can go during lockdown, and I know lockdown is lifting, woohoo! But let's use a nice broad example that we can all relate to. The route you go to your favorite grocery store you go to most. How often do you think about that? And I'm going to say probably never. You probably did it once successfully and your brain stored it. And this is a great thing. I mean, everything has its pros and cons. Our minds work wonders for us. So the wonder is that you don't have to think about it every time because your clever brain stored that. That message was, that route works really well. And so now we'll just keep doing it that way. It'll be like on autopilot. So great. It is really helpful so that we don't have to make those 6,200 thoughts 62,000 thoughts, and we can just go about certain things in the same way every day. But then when we start thinking about autopilot and thinking and thoughts and the state of our mind, and we start applying that to other things, bigger things, such as your career. How did you get into your career? Did you really connect with something that moved you, or were you young and not sure of what to do, and there was that conditioning, you must have a good job, you must earn good money, and you must provide, either for yourself or for your family. Because chances are, in majority of people, that played a role. Even if you come to a point where you eventually find something that really lights you up, career-wise, a lot of people start there. A lot of people just have a basic need that they feel must be met in a certain way. That sort of feeds into success. What does success look like for you? I remember my beautiful auntie, just pausing. Monique says you're amazing. Thank you, Monique, and thank you for being here. It's wonderful to have you here. You're amazing too. Thank you. I remember, speaking of success and the definition of success and what is my definition of success, I remember having a wonderful conversation with my aunt who said that she was saddened by the fact that the world had diminished the value of a simple life. And that really struck me, because what she was saying, and we used to have these wonderful long late night conversations over a bottle of wine, or two bottles probably, is that a simple life for one person can be true success. A simple life, and if you're in touch with yourself in your own mind and your sacred self, and you're giving that internal part of you, that sacred part of you, the airtime to direct you according to your reality, your life path, then if a simple life is your idea of success, you will comfortably and happily live it and feel that success and celebrate your life and experience the gratitude and the joy. However, if the conditioning is there that success involves a certain size house with a certain number of bedrooms, with a certain type of decor, with a partner, with a certain number of vehicles and leisure accommodation, and you think of, and this whole picture that's got a whole lot of trappings, and you have made a simple life for yourself, that is going to create such discourse for yourself in your own mind, dissatisfaction, and it'll erode the gratitude, it'll erode your joy, it'll erode your sense of accomplishment, because if you haven't met the desired level or standard that your conditioning is telling you you should be at, then whatever joy you could be experiencing in your reality is eroded. It's diluted to such a degree. And you can apply this question to every area of your life. How much of what I am thinking is really mine? You can look at your religion or your spirituality. You can even dice your life up into tiny areas. Things like your answer to questions. You might just have these standard answers that come out. Are they really yours? Have you thought about them? And there are so many ways that conditioning impacts our life. Being in the work that I'm in, I'm always working on myself, always challenging myself. And you will have seen so much about mindset in the media. So how wonderful the media, like our minds, the fact that there is so much information out there coming at us, obviously has benefits, has fantastic benefits. I mean, I remember having to learn things by asking my mom or my dad to take me to the nearest library, and then hoping that there was space in the library for me to sit at one of the big tables, hoping that the encyclopedia volume that I needed for the topic that I was researching was available, and all other books related, and collecting all those books and piling them up on a library table and sitting and pouring through them. Access to information was very different 30 and 40 years ago, whereas now we have full access to information. So there are definite benefits. For me, I'm just saying, remember to filter, remember yourself, remember your inner self, remember who you really are. And it's really easy to say that if you're working from a premise that we really know ourselves. But as the title of this series indicates, there are so many cases where we think we know ourselves, and as I'm pointing out in all the thinking, where we could do a little bit more digging. We could get in touch with who we really are on a deeper level. We could question the ethics that we live by, question the values, have a look at them. Are those really my values? Or have I taken them on? Have I inherited them? Have I inherited them from my family, from the society that I've been born into? What are my values really? Could they be flawed according to my inner self, my sacred self? And so this is where I come in to say, I challenge you to question that. You could question it, and I mean, these questions and grapplings are challenging. You could get to a point to say, I'm just going to accept it. I can't do this. That's fine. That's your choice. But sacred self-love and your inner being requires you to step up, requires you to meet with your inner being, to meet with who you really are, and discover your own truth so that you can create your own reality and live out of that space. And that's what sacred self-love is. So you don't have to choose it. I like to align self-love with the matrix, and especially when it comes to matters of the mind. The matrix, there was the blue pill and the red pill. And there was one character in the story, if you don't know the story, the red pill led you to see the truth and see the reality and live outside of the matrix, and the blue pill kept you in it, kept you in the illusion, and the illusion was wonderful. And there was a character who chose, after he'd seen the truth, to take the blue pill again and go back to the illusion, because for him that was his choice. That was preferable. And that is a personal choice for all of us. So however, I'm going to challenge you, if you would like to know yourself deeper, if you would like to experience a deeper, fuller, richer experience of all that life has to offer, then go there. Go there with yourself. Seek out your sacred self and practice sacred self-love. It is about knowing yourself and respecting yourself for everything that you are, as you are. It's about giving time to yourself as you would give to a relationship or a job, or a charity, some other cause that you're involved in. Give that time to yourself. You are worth it. You deserve it. And as I said last week, it's one thing to say, well, I've been me for 48 years, so I know myself. But do I really? Because sacred self-love has certainly taught me that there are parts of me and aspects of me that I still can only dream of knowing, and that I uncover them a little bit more every day with my self-love practice. So I really am passionate about this and the joy that it brings. To have true joy, true fulfillment, we need to go deep. We need to go deep within, and we need to connect with ourselves on a very deep level and question everything. So one thing is questioning, but how do we connect? And in this case, how do we connect with mind? And how do we decipher what is my reality and what is part of the illusion? And similarly to last week, it's about getting quiet, and it's about creating space for that connection. So this week I'm putting out another challenge. This is the part 2 mind challenge. Reality versus illusion, getting to know my own mind challenge. And here's how it goes. I am going to be doing it with you. I do it all the time, but I will give it renewed energy this week, as I did to body this past week. So here's how it goes. Go into a quiet place. Get quiet. Close your eyes and focus on your breathing. Before you do that, put any devices on airplane mode. Allow yourself a space where technology is not with you for a change, right? So put your devices on airplane mode. This is going to be a very short activity, and I encourage you to do it every day for a week. So between now and next Friday, do this. So go into a space, make sure that you can create a space for yourself where you won't be interrupted. It's only for a minute or two. Get really quiet, sit comfortably. If you can, try and keep your body upright, or if you're going to lie down, lie nice and flat so that your spine is nicely supported, so that you keep the flow of energy through your body so it can flow nicely and directly. So you're not like lying like a pretzel, in other words. So get quiet, close your eyes, and just focus on your breathing. That's the first thing. Just focus on your breathing. Listen to your heartbeat and think about your why. What is at the root of you? What one thing gets you out of bed every day? What is driving you? Stay quiet keep focusing on your breathing, and imagine yourself pulling out of your body and watching yourself and watching your life. Stay quiet and just watch. Keep breathing. And then pose a question. Looking at this person, yourself, that you're watching, what would you tell this person? What would you suggest their focus is? What would you suggest to them is their why? And then the first thought that drops into your head, take that for that day, just for that one day, take that as your guidance from your sacred self, from your inner being, from the deepest part of you, the part of you that is connected with God, Creatrix, Source, all that is. Try and do that once a day for 7 days. Just get quiet and sink in and pull out. So you actually watch yourself. Allow the thoughts, when the thoughts start coming, because they will, those 6,200 thoughts, they want to get in. They want their airtime. So as they start flowing in, just allow them to pass by. Don't get attached to any one thought until you ask yourself that question. And do that for a week. And at the end of the week, you'll see that you will have some kind of clarity that you might not have had at the beginning of the week. And allow a fresh, surprising thought to come through if one does, because it probably will. Write it down and just allow it to sit there. Subconsciously, you'll process it on some level. If you have time, then give it some thought time during that day. But kind of just let it happen. Let it come out and let that be your thought for the day. Don't obsess on it. Get quiet. And then the second part, so that's the get quiet and ask yourself a question. The second part is watch your thoughts. Watch your thoughts every day for the next week. Watch how you do things and why you do things. And ask yourself, is that really me? Is that really me? I'm going to give you a quick example because I know I always try and keep these sessions short. But a quick example is, and I might have mentioned this recently, is that I have always said that wine and champagne are my favorite drinks. I've always said that. I drink a lot of water, always have, always will. But I've always said that wine and champagne are my favorite drinks. And sometime in the past few years, I started grappling with this. But my mindset was so determined. My body wasn't liking it. And my soul, my sacred self, wasn't liking it. But my mindset was stuck. That pathway had been carved in my brain that wine and champagne were my favorite drinks. And so it was carved in place. It was done. But somewhere along the line, my body and my soul were speaking loud. And so I had to start paying attention. And of course, the more I meditate, the more I get quiet, the more I hear from my sacred self, the more self-love I practice over the years, the more I have to challenge these neural pathways in my brain that are just set mindsets. What happened? I ended up coming to a place over quite a number of months and years where recently, in January this year, it was over. It was over. Wine and champagne are no longer my favorite drinks. And that was quite a revolution to me, was thinking that it was my mindset, it was my thoughts for all those years that had decided something. I decided it years and years ago, and I never questioned it. So I would feel unwell. My body would really be unwell. I would have inflammation in my body. I would be not well in my liver. My stomach would not be well. My skin would get eczema. I mean, if I can just tell you the number of ways that my body was telling me it was not okay. And in my soul, I would feel this pulling. My sacred self was pulling. And yet it was a mindset that was holding me there. So finally, after times of questioning and then ignoring it because my mind was made up, I finally got to a place where I questioned that mindset, and just doing it and realizing that it was a mindset, I undid it like that. It was over, as I say, from one day to the next, it was over. Um, and so that is how simple it can be when you dig into this. So we think that it's hard. We think it's going to be hard because initially I would have said, but it's so hard. How do I go out with my friends and not have a drink? Well, in my support bubble, I have friends who drink, and one of them happens to be my official drinking buddy, and he still drinks, and so do I. I'm just drinking appetizer or lemonade or water, and you know what? We still have as much fun. So, well, I certainly do. I hope he does too. So it is possible. It's really just a mindset shift, and it can happen instantly the minute we look at that thought and say, well, that wasn't mine, or it was mine. It no longer serves me. I can choose a new thought. I can carve a new path in my brain. I can choose a new mindset. So, what's your thoughts in this week? The first part of the challenge is getting quiet. Hello, Veronica. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. I am actually going to wrap up very soon, but there will be a replay available on Facebook and YouTube. So, the first part of the challenge is getting quiet, focusing on your breathing, focusing on your heartbeat, pulling out of yourself and looking at yourself and thinking, what would I suggest to this person? What is this person's why? And then going with that thought for the day. That's the first part. I like to call it making my own magic. It's fantastic. And then the second part is just watch your thoughts and see, check them out. Am I doing this on autopilot? Does this autopilot work for me? Or do I want to question this particular mindset on this particular subject? So I do hope you join me for this challenge. As I said, I'm going to give renewed energy to this practice, which is part of my practice anyway, checking my thoughts. And let's see where it takes us. And I look forward to seeing you next week and hearing from you in the week. Let me know about last week's body challenge. Let me know how it goes this week with the mind challenge. And give yourself that time. Give yourself that sacred self-love that you deserve. That time and that energy that you deserve. It doesn't take much, but it brings amazing results. So thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next week. Next week, we're going to be doing part 3, which is heart, all about emotion. And I really, really look forward to sharing more of this journey with you. I love you lots. Keep loving yourself. And remember, sacred self-love. You're worth it.